Hi guys, welcome to the C2 debate iLearning homework prep session. I'm going to walk you through how to do your iLearning homework for the C2 module. So if you log into your learning.cheongdam.com website and you log in with your ID and your password, you should get the same page that you see on my screen here. Then I would like you to please click the iLearning part. And then down here, you can see that there are three components. So you've got C1, you've got C2, and then you've got C2 debate. This is the one that we're going to go over together today. So if you look at the C2 debate component, you can see that on the third one, there is one that's called critical rebuttal. I would like you to press that. And then you should see the same or similar page that I see on my screen. No, actually, it should be the same. And then here, you push start. So as you can see, I've already done this. So basically, when you open it, because you haven't done it, you will start off with this warm-up page, and you will get the sentence writing exercise page on the screen for you. Here, as you can see there are three questions, and for you, the mint colored answers are the answers that I have typed in, but for you, you wouldn't have typed in anything, so they would just be blank lines. All you need to do for this one is, I'll use a pen to show you. Each question comes with like 3 words in brackets. So here, should not require, student, wear uniform. All you need to do is arrange these words into a sentence, and a complete sentence, so that it makes sense. For this part of your homework, you need to be careful with capital letters and even grammar mistakes or grammar. So you've got to add S's in the end of some words, or you've got to add a few words in order to make it grammatically clear and correct. So as you can see, for the first one, I wrote should not require, and instead of having student, I had to add an S, students, and then instead of just writing wear uniform, I had to make it grammatically correct, and I had to add a to and then an S at the end as well. So be careful of those things, and especially even when you get down here to the lower example, so number 2, you can see that I also had to write a capital U and also add an S at the end. And all these things are getting graded, so you need to be very careful and don't make minor errors like that. After you have typed it all out, essentially what will happen is you can click it. No, wait. You should be able to click it, and then there should be like a type bar that pops up in the bottom half of your screen, and then you just type the answers and then you submit it. If you've finished all the 3 questions here, then there should be at the bottom a confirm or a submit button. You just need to push that, and then it will just tell you which ones you got wrong or which ones you got correct, and then this section is finished. And then after this page is done, you just push the next component, and you will see the page that you see on my screen right now. When it comes to this page, this is just basically a tip page. So it just tells you things that you need to be aware of and things that you need to understand in order to do this homework well. And the first thing I think you should do when you are on this page is actually have a read of the prompt. So understand what it's requiring you to do. So right now it says, watch and take notes on the speaker's stance on the following issue. Then prepare and record your rebuttal. So this is a key part of your homework. You have to rebut. And then you must provide 2 reasons for your opinion. Directly rebut at least 1 point that is made by this speaker down here. So that is basically what you are required to do. And how you structure that is basically what this side of your homework is showing you. So you need to make sure that you have a clear opinion. You need to make sure that your opinion is supported with reasons. And here it says you must have how many reasons? 2. So you must give 2 reasons. And for each reason, you must have enough details. And when it comes to details, try to add a little bit of research so that you can back up your reasons and support why everything you are saying is logical, correct, and accurate compared to whatever the person in that video on the other side is talking about. And then rebuttal is basically just like when you are disagreeing with someone, okay? So you are trying to convince the person that's listening to you that everything that the previous person has said is incorrect, and that everything that you are claiming and everything that you believe in is correct. So just make sure that you focus on the rebuttal part, especially for this homework, since it is a rebuttal based homework, okay? And then if you look here, motion. Basically what the motion means is it's just your topic. So it says here, this house believes schools should require students to wear uniforms. So everything that this student down here is going to talk about is going to be trying to persuade us why students need to wear uniforms. Your mission is to disagree with this because you are on the other side. You are going to try and convince that uniforms are not necessary and that we, the students, should not wear school uniforms, okay? If you think that this side over here is a little vague and you don't understand, what you can also look at is if you tap the second tab of your tip, so here, they actually have given you a clear example of what you need to do, okay? So you can have a read of this before you actually go and prepare for your own. This gives you a clear understanding of how you need to do it. And then down here, so comprehension, this is just talking about how clear you are, how correct your grammar is, how well you speak your opinion, and how direct you are. So make sure that you're not mumbling or that you are saying grammatically incorrect sentences, because for a debate, these things really matter. And if you are grammatically incorrect, then it can influence the other people listening to you to not understand your points. So you need to be very careful about that. Presentation, the second part, is just talking about how well you pronounce words, the speed you are talking in. So if you're talking too fast and blah, 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 nobody's gonna understand all your important points. So you've got to pace yourself, make sure you're not talking too fast, but at the same time, make sure you're not talking too slow. Or in the middle, you're not taking big stops and pauses in the middle of your speech, because that's also going to interfere with the delivery of your actual speech, okay? So now, if you've read all these outlines and all these steps and you know what to do, basically the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually listen to this speech. And while she speaks and delivers her speech, what I want you to do is actually take notes on everything she is talking about, okay? And then if you take notes on everything she's speaking about and all the points that she is making, it's going to make your part of the homework, when it comes to rebutting the points that she has mentioned, a lot easier for you, okay? And down here also, before I play the video, if you look here, it just has a few like phrases or example sentences that you can use in your speech if you wish to, if you are unsure of how to transition into ideas or how to connect your ideas together. This graph down here, this table down here, is just an example of the things that you could use. However, you do not need to use this all the time. It's completely up to you, okay? So for now, let's listen to this video. And while you listen to this video and while you're listening to this student deliver her speech, please write down the notes, and then I will walk you through the next thing we have to do after this video finishes playing. Okay, ready?
Mr. Speaker and fellow debaters, thank you for the opportunity to argue in favor of students wearing uniforms. First, the purpose of school is to educate students. Uniforms help students focus in school, thereby furthering their ability to excel in academia. With uniforms, students will not need to spend excessive time in the morning picking out outfits. They will be able to come to school more rested and ready to focus. Also, in school, students will not have as many distractions because students will be in similar outfits. Second, uniforms prevent bullying. Students wearing different clothes have already caused a tremendous number of bullying cases in the United States. For example, a 10-year-old girl in Raleigh, North Carolina hung herself because other students tormented her. They teased her about her shoes and clothes. The school administration is considering uniforms to prevent further incidents of bullying. Children cannot help but judge a book by its cover. Often, bullying occurs when a child's clothes appear different or less expensive. Uniforms will allow students to see each other as equals. Finally, uniforms are less expensive. The cost of school supplies is already a huge burden on families. Purchasing lots of different clothes in various styles is unnecessary and frivolous. With uniforms, parents can save money by only buying clothes that children need to school. There will be no pressure to buy the latest trends that some families cannot afford. In conclusion, we have proven beyond a reasonable doubt that students should wear uniforms in school.
Okay, so did you take your own notes about this speech? Yes. Just to make it simple, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to share this screen with you, and we are going to take notes on everything that this student in that video mentioned about wearing uniforms. So her opinion is that students should wear uniforms. Okay, here you go. And her first reason was that it is better for education, right? She mentions things like it's going to make students save time in the morning because they don't have to worry about what they are going to wear to school. It's always the same clothes every day to school. Therefore, this is actually going to encourage them to focus better when it actually comes to being at school because they don't waste their time and energy trying to figure out what things to wear. She says that this is actually going to help improve academia and education in the long picture because all of this promotes better focus. And if you're focused, then you're going to be able to concentrate more in all the lessons that are happening in school. Her second point was that it is going to prevent bullying, right? And as bullying. And as an example, she talks about how there was a 10-year-old girl who eventually committed suicide because she was teased for her shoes and her clothing. And that at school, it's very hard to stop students from judging a book by its cover. So if we promote everyone to wear uniforms, or if we make everyone wear uniforms, everyone looks the same. Therefore, it gives an idea that everyone are equal, okay? So she thinks that this is very effective because if we all look the same and we're all wearing the same clothes, then there is less of an occurrence of people being bullied about what type of shoes or what type of clothes you wear. And then the third thing she mentioned was that it is actually going to be less expensive. Okay, so if everyone wears the same clothes to school every single day of the school year, then people are going to end up saving money because you don't need to constantly buy new clothes, okay? And you don't need to constantly try to keep up with the fashion trends, okay? So basically, her point here is like every season or every month, there are new clothes that people want to wear or new clothes that people think are really cool and that they need to buy and get. And if everyone's wearing uniforms at school, it doesn't matter what they buy or what they need to catch up with because everyone's going to be wearing the same clothes to school every single day. Okay? So this was her opinion. This was what she was arguing for. Now, what you need to do is you need to think about the opposite. So it starts off with your opinion for your homework this week. Wait, I can't spell opinion. Here, opinion is that students should not wear uniform. uniform. This is what your speech needs to be based on. This is your opinion, because you are basically disagreeing with everything the student in the video was fighting for. You are saying, no, we should not wear uniform. Here, to make this part of your homework easier, what I think is the best strategy for you to do is, so basically, look at all the points that she's making. Look at her 3 points that she's made and fight against it. So make a rebuttal for it, for each of her reasons, and then you can choose the 2 reasons that you think you can fight the best for, and then use those 2 reasons to deliver your speech or frame your speech upon. So number 1, she thinks that uniforms is actually better for education, but instead of that, we could fight for the fact that if students wear own clothing, it actually is more comfortable, okay? And if people are more comfortable, they are actually going to be able to focus better at school, okay? Because think about it. For an example, you could use that most uniforms for girls, they have to wear what? Skirts. And for boys, they have to wear shirts, right? And these are all clothing that are not necessarily comfortable, okay? So therefore, you could argue for the fact that because the students are not comfortable, it makes them constantly distracted about what they're wearing or how they have to sit or how they have to move. And this is actually causing more distraction. Okay, they can't focus on what the teacher is saying. They can't learn the things that everyone wants them to learn because what they are wearing is very uncomfortable for them. Okay, so you could fight for that for the first point. So therefore, if we all wear our own clothes to school, we are more comfortable, which in the bigger picture is going to improve education, right? Because we're going to be able to focus in everything that's happening in class more. And then number 2, she talks about preventing bullying. You could say that this does not effectively stop bullying 100%, okay? Just because people wear the same clothes, it doesn't mean that bullying disappears 100%. There will be other aspects that students will pick and tease about if it's not clothing, okay? It could be school grades. So it's the school's job or responsibility to actually find ways to completely stop bullying, not just minimize bullying, okay? So you could say, for example, if she mentions the thing that everyone judges a book by its cover, what you could do here is that the school is also a place where we can teach students to respect each other. So just because you are wearing different clothes to me, it doesn't mean that you're weird or that I'm weird or that I'm wrong or that you're wrong. It just means that we're different, okay? So individual differences. And it's the school's job to teach us how to respect that, okay? So this is also another very important form of education. Why? Because it's not just the school's job to teach us how to be good at English or how to do science well or how to do math well. It's also about teaching us how to, build strong, healthy relationships and build interpersonal relationships and interpersonal skills. So this is also a form of education by teaching each other how to get along with one another, accept everyone's differences, and respect one another. That's an important lesson to learn from school for all of us and all for our entire world, right? Entire life. And then third, she talks about how having school uniforms is actually going to end up being less expensive because people don't have to buy clothes all the time. Here you could fight for the fact that you don't need to buy new clothes, right? If the school sends out like a policy or like a rule that everyone should be wearing comfortable clothes, not fashionable clothes. Wait, clothes, clothes, and promote that you are wearing your own clothes so that you are comfortable at school and that the school is not a fashion show, then this stops people from feeling like they always have to buy new clothes and wear new clothes in order to look cool at school, because it's not about looking cool. It's about being comfortable at school so that you can actually focus in your education and focus on the things that you're learning at school, right? So, like you can see here, you have basically took each point that she has mentioned and you have created rebuttals for it. You have kind of proven why everything she is mentioning is wrong. If you have better ideas than the things that I've wrote on the screen, please feel free to add your own ideas. Also, on some points, if you feel like there should be there is going to be helpful research for you to use in your actual speech, you should add the research here to kind of strengthen the points that you're talking about, so that it's not just, I think this, I think this, I think this. You can use research to back up your points just so that you are stronger and that it proves the other person's points even more wrong, right? So here, basically, all you need to do now is frame your speech based on this. This is your opinion. This is what you are fighting for. You are saying students should not wear uniforms. Then you need to choose two reasons. So if you like number 1 and number 2, then you can just focus on 1 and 2. Or if you don't like number 1 and you just like number 2 and number 3, then your speech can be focused on number 2 and 3 as well. This is completely up to you, okay? But as you can see here, hold on. As you can see here, it tells you that you need to have 2 reasons, okay? So make sure that you choose 2 reasons and make sure during the delivery of your 2 reasons, you are also adding the important strategy of rebutting this speaker down here. Okay, so as I showed you on that whiteboard, her points and your points, make sure that you are mentioning the previous speaker mentioned this. However, she is wrong because blah, 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 and just justify that and elaborate on those points a little bit more, and then introduce why you think the things that you think and fight for your reasons, okay? Like I said, if you get stuck, you can see on this side here, this mint colored paper page here, the things that you need to include. So your reasons would be, no, actually not wearing uniforms is better for education. And then your details, you would support the examples, all the things that we just wrote on that page of why not wearing uniforms is going to be better for education. And then during that point, you will also add your rebuttal and you'll say, the previous person said that wearing uniforms is going to be better for education. However, it's incorrect because, and then you explain why. Okay, so just make sure that you actually have a look at these tips. And like I said, if you do get stuck, you can look at tip 2, this page, and here there is a precise example typed up for you. So you can use this to guide you so that you have a 100% clear understanding of all the things that you should be doing. This is a very good example to read before you actually record your homework, okay? And then if you've finished taking your notes and you've prepared your notes for your speech, all you need to do is go to the last page here, and on this page here, you can see that there are 2 options for you to record. If you wish to record on your PC, which is just your laptop or your desktop or your computer or your tablet, whatever you've got in front of you, you can just use this button here and record that. Or if you want to use your smartphone and record that, then you can also do that as well. This part is up to you. You can choose whatever's easiest for you and whatever you feel more comfortable in. But other than that, basically, that's it. Those are the 3 big components of this homework for the critical rebuttal homework. I think the key part that you need to focus on is make sure you take your notes very clearly on this opening argument, on this video, and make sure that you have clear points to rebut. And during your speech, make sure you mention those parts. So make sure you mention the previous speaker mentioned something, something, something. However, she or he is wrong because, and then make sure you explain why they are wrong. Okay? Other than that, that's it for this homework. Good luck and have fun, and I'll see you next time.